Hey folks, this is Billy DKY, the truth seeker that simplifies and demystifies. This is my top 10 tweets of the week review, November the 22nd, 2009. Let's start off with the first tweet. There are three types of diseases: physical, mental, and spiritual. If not used appropriately, religion quickly becomes a spiritual disease. And this hit me. I was in a discussion on topics.com with a person, and they mentioned disease, and they talked about blah, blah, blah. And it hit me like a ton of bricks that religion is a lot of times becomes a spiritual disease. So think about what a physical disease does. It's something that gets in your body or you're born with that causes your body to decay. Mental disease is something that gets in your mind and causes your mind to decay. Spirit is something that gets in your spirit and causes your spirit to decline. And a lot of times religion gives you excuses for quit trying, so it causes the spirit to die. It's a spiritual disease. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting revelation, a pretty good way of looking at a lot of things that we do that actually cause us to decline spiritually. So, and pleasure is a spiritual disease. Ego is a spiritual disease. So anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. Next tweet. Desire is using free will optimally. You know, I've said previously, destiny is relinquishing your free will, which in a way, but it's not about just sitting and being still and doing nothing. It's about relinquishing what you want to do what's optimally, or to do what the essence wants you to do, or what your spirit wants you to do, without going towards pleasure or ego. And that led from that insight came from knowledge versus wisdom. Knowledge describes reality. So notice that's anytime any knowledge you have is describing a property about reality or the way reality works in some way. Wisdom, on the other hand, is proceeding optimally. It's using the knowledge that you have in such a way that you proceed optimally. And I'm going to do a full video series on that, or a full video on that, because it's really too much just doing this. So look forward to that. I might do that today even, which I think I will. Next tweet. Desire makes you less desirable. And I've noticed this for a long time, but I couldn't really figure out why that was, and it was really bugging me, and it's been bugging me for a while, but then it hit me like a ton of bricks. It all started just falling in place. And again, I'm going to do a video on that probably today. So if you're really curious about that, and basically what it boils down to, when you're filled with desire, it devalues you, and so you're devalued, and you're not as desirable. But if you really like that, you probably should look forward to this video that's coming up, because it's going to be pretty good. And this is an understanding that came to me today. Can you see the similarities between fame or famous? I meant to say famous people and a solar system. The truth repeats itself endlessly. Let's see. Let me start from the bottom. The star and the fans create an egotistical solar system, with fans being drawn in by the fame. And it's sort of interesting. You know, it just hit me, and I was like, wow, you know, it's like the star, which they call it star, you know, sort of like the center of the universe, and all the fans are just like the little planets going around, and the fame is the gravitational pull that keeps that together. You know, the person who's famous got the big ego, and all the little people below him wish they were him or her, and that draws them towards it. And it's a mini little solar system right here on Earth. So it's and it's exactly what's going on in the bigger universe. If it's a little, you know, it's a little different. Not much different though, and that's why I say the truth repeats itself endlessly. So I thought that was really interesting. Next tweet, and this is like a high concept that you might want to carry around in your mind: the eternal open mind. And basically what I found is, once you judge something, you've sort of closed your mind off in that area. You know, that's what I say you should always when you keep an eternal open mind, you're always thinking. Or you're never assuming something's, it's no longer solid. You're always allowing it to be fluid and move. Because again, what is this universe? It's nothing but a flow of energy. And so when you're eternally open-minded, you're allowing your mind to flow always. You're not stopping it with some judgment. Then partly in relation to that, your interpretation of things is just that, your interpretation. pluck your biases out one by one until only reality remains. The longer it lies held, the harder it is to let go of, and the more it hurts you. So what happens, you perceive reality, and then you put an interpretation, and a lot of times that interpretation will determine if you feel happy thoughts or bad thoughts, or negative thoughts. Forget about it. Just don't allow yourself to interpret. Just perceive it, let it go in, and don't think about it, and move on to the next moment. And that's what I say, and lies hurt people. Now, this may not be totally good to put with this tweet, but anyway, the longer it's held, the more it hurts you, and the harder it is to let go of. So the sooner, if you don't allow lies to take root in your mind, then they don't hurt you as much. So next week, women love to create desire and hate to do anything to destroy it. Since I've been getting over women more and more, it's funny to watch them now. I'm not seeing them with desire. I'm seeing them from more of a non-desiring state, and it's funny to watch them. They hate to do anything that's going to create. You ain't gonna see a woman walking around farting, picking her nose, scratching her ass. You just don't see it because they don't want to do anything that's not gonna keep your desire and you inflamed. And I thought that was so funny. It's funny now looking at it. So, well, I'm sure men do it to women in the opposite way in some form. When you catch yourself being negative, stop the process and say a string of positive words. We have so many negative things that happen to us. We have so many things and every day you have so many opportunities to be negative. And the first moment you feel your mind going negative, you need to stop it and say some positive words that put you back at peace. But typically what happens is we just allow it to just grow and grow and grow until our whole mind is just hate life. So the sooner you stop it, the better. So the more you're aware of your spirit and what's going on in your unconscious, the better off you'll be. Next tweet, bland foods provide calm energy. Pleasurable foods create psychotic energy. Or pleasure in general creates psychotic energy. So if you look at somebody taking drugs, they're woo, crazy energy. It's psychotic a lot of times. And that's the same with foods. If you watch people who eat natural, bland foods, they're more calm, steady. I'm not saying that they don't have a lot of energy and essence like a wild animal. I'm saying that they're typically calmer people where you eat a lot of sugars. Kids, example. When kids eat a lot of junk food, man, they're just off the wall. And it's the same thing with an adult. If you want more of a calm, stable energy, change your foods over from pleasurable foods to more bland foods, and you'll find that you're more stable, which that allows you to go through the day more stable instead of this ups and downs of this pleasurable foods. So sort of like once you get involved in those pleasurable foods, you just keep. It's like a drug addict. You have to keep doing it to keep it going. So. Next tweet, supernatural usually means fantasy land. And we see this all the time. Supernatural, it's usually just a big fantasy land. So, maybe not always, but typically. Because if it wasn't supernatural, it'd be natural. So, it probably is fantasy land every time. And if it's not fantasy land, then you need to figure out why and make it natural instead of supernatural. Next one, I've been thinking about dreams. I've had people dream interpretations. This buddy does something. I was like, I don't really care because dreams don't help me a whole lot. I mean, they help me a little bit. When they do, I use them, but most of the time I don't think about it too much. And it finally hit me that dreams are the mind growing while you're sleeping. Don't read too much into it. And the next tweet on dreams, are dreams any more than the mind processing information? And basically, once you understand that everything is nothing but a flow of energy, then dreams can be nothing more than a flow of energy. And then from there, you start figuring out little details from it. And basically, I just see it as the mind growing. That's pretty much it. And sometimes, you can use that. It's communicating with you in some way, or you somehow get privy to it, through your process of dreaming, and you can use it in your daily life. But most times it's just your mind processing a bunch of things from a bunch of different areas and just growing, creating connections. And it's just, and if you try to read too much into it, you waste a lot of time. So, which you could be doing other things. Anyway, folks, that's all I wanted to say. And I've got several links in the information section if you want to start following my tweets. And if you're already following tweets, that's good. And later, folks, please rate.